Hey guys, we're back. We're doing Big Top, aka my least favorite case because of the weirdness in it. Okay, good morning, Max. Oh yeah, good morning, sweeties. This guy literally, I don't like him either, but who do I like in this case? Basically no one. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Teehee. Oh my god, hi. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina! How fabulous, my sweetie pie princess. No. No. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is. Yeah, so... Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Okay. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning, Tia. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning, Tia, Governor. Oh, he's angry. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Aha. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thanks. Why do they keep giving him milk? So how are you today, Wright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against a real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can with other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Okay. You know what? That's okay. Mo's like the only sane person here, kind of. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Okay, we'll show him. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Can she even do that? I don't know if she can do all that, but... Okay. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. time to get to work, or shall I say time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Yeah. Whatever that means. Name and occupation? Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Tell us what you witnessed, yes. It was just after 10 p.m., and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. So then how would you know it's him? To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. Okay. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there's very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Okay. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Thank you. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Okay. You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? Wouldn't it? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Haha, sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Sometimes. The witness will proceed with his testimony. Okay, dang. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Okay. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? It was indeed. Pressing Acro doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now? Okay, wait. We heard a large thump. I guess. There was a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? Heard a loud noise. I don't really think there's a contradiction. So no, there's no contradiction. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, that was embarrassing. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Okay, I don't know why I'm back here. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as it were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if Acro's statement jives with the facts. He claims it was a human. Let me see here. He claims it was a human, but could he actually see it? No. Let's see, do I have anything? Guess not. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. Okay. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Then it wasn't him. The light on your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat as well as a cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with this latest bit of testimony? There is. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. Okay. You claim it was him, but... Let's see. The contradiction is that... Did you see the hat when it came back up? You claim to have seen the exact same thing most saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found in the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? No. Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Ooh. Little liar. Order. Order. As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? I think he has a grudge against Max. Perhaps it is because Acro has a grudge against the defendant, which is why he's trying to frame Max. Why me what I do? Never get your fat head in the way of a whip bent on finding justice. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I have no interest in your silly little theories. He has a grudge against the defendant, huh? You wouldn't happen to have proof of that? Well, that's the thing. Oh, okay. Mr. Wright, thanks to you, I got my head lashed by Miss Von Karma's whip. Okay. Okay. What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? He's a real culprit? Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. I don't know why we do, but we do. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ha ha ha. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and mind. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. Okay, looking at him. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He is staying rather calm and collected. Why is this thing biting me? Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is trying to help his client. Right. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Okay, you guys are kind of attacking me. Geez, Wright, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. Oh my goodness. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro's unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Yes. It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices. You don't say. Not good, not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard the sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough? The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Gulp. Very well, let's continue. Who, perchance, would happen to be Acro's accomplice? Let's see here. His accomplice would be... the monkey, maybe? You don't say. Uh-oh, this is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. Oh, so I just heard this before. Okay. Do you have any proof that the person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? Wait, do you have any proof that this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? Yes, because he is a mess. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? This piece of evidence is lacking persuasive power. Okay. Well, damn. Of course he didn't. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Okay. Order. What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, If this witness is a killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. Okay. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling? He was... here. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? What do you say? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. Okay, I don't know what I really don't know what I'm trying to get at. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he's in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be killed, or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? And that he flew away. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one serious thought. Okay. And saving my game is definitely a serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. But why do we think that? I don't understand why we think that. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it. Time to enlighten us all to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. Okay. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of the murder against Russell Berry? He used... Oh, what if he used this? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. I get that would make sense. Order, order. So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster. A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro's an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like that bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, 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 Acro. You can't run away from things this time. I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. True. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to solve for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but you need to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. She's being really unfair. But it's whatever. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bus. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bus on him, don't you think? Okay. I have no doubts on the regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to an even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Grr, I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. She's doing a lot of talking and trying to get my nerves. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bus. Exactly. Have you ever lifted up the bus before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bus before? Oh. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. Okay. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean Nick. Whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Okay. However, lifting that bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. Nope. Yeah, this evidence clearly reveals contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. Like, literally, what are you talking about? It definitely is possible. That's wrong because you have the monkey to tell you. Okay, I'm confused. He literally talked about how the monkey can hold the... And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. Okay, there's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see below the window. Okay. And that makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there is no way that I would have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey, Nick. Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. Okay. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Impossible to know the location of the ringmaster's head. It would possible, you say? Okay, so what if he knew because of this? Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. You're silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job at hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could have missed the head of the victim. No. Oh. Order. This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now, I just gotta keep looking, keep going, and there's only one way to go from here forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh my goodness. The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The weight. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight. According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Ooh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be approximately in the same place. Fool. Yeah, does make sense. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? The monkey? You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Arr. Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? Money the monkey. A monkey. Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Ooh. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gua! Acro. Money's a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Okay. Order! Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma! Where's the bus in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bus. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as a murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bus was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was a murderer. Moron. I'm really not the moron here. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy, however. His argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Don't seem so bamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah. There is no reason to doubt this clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? Who was the murderer the clown saw? It was... Well, let's see. Acro. What is this supposed to mean? Yes, what is that supposed to mean? Do you mind explaining that to me as well? Okay. I thought it was him. Let me save my game because I'm literally about to die. Then who was it? They ask. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The murderer the clown saw was... Russell. Okay, I don't know. Yay! Okay. He saw two people. Who was the murderer the clown saw? It was... The murderer the clown saw... I don't know. Because he's saying they saw him. Someone with a hat. Who would they have seen? Perhaps it was Max himself? I don't know. Okay, this is really annoying. Okay. Who was the murderer the clown saw? Um, the murderer the clown saw was... Wait. It was... Oh my goodness. It was like the statue. I see now. I asked who was the other person most saw the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Most said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. How is this possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? That silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one of those cards on the bust's hands. Idiots. Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is one of the utmost importance to the case. Don't you agree? Doe, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? It's so obvious. Wait, why would it not be him? No! What if he did it? Fool? Him? You're saying it was the victim himself? Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed a cloak on the bus? Placed a cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Exactly. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. But why? Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Brandon Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Ooh. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant the bus hit the victim. Oh. You just wait a second there, Mr. Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused a certain someone. The impact also caused a sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up to the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Oh. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be. Okay. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could have only been you. Does he care? Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Can I save my game real quick? Thank you. Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there is still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then use that and get out of this jam. Okay, that's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Is it this? Hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. The hard proof is that let me take a good look here. He has these white roses on, right? And Mo says that what he saw didn't have any white roses. The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one. But what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Nope. Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust? The cloak snagged onto the bust. What happened to the white roses? Oh, right. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Exactly. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Oh my gosh, she's so annoying. Everyone here is annoying. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Oh. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. I guess that does make sense. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Akra's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Akro deeply respected the ringmaster. Akro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Okay. So this is going to be a tricky case. Really tricky, actually, because I literally have one life. I think that's what I'm going to be living off on. I have one more chance. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this. And we need to get this case solved immediately. Because, honestly, the game didn't really hint that Akra was a murderer. In my opinion, I kind of felt like they just wanted me to assume it was him. Because I wouldn't have really blamed him. But now I have reason to because, like, it makes sense now. But yeah. I'll see you guys later. Bye.